Hello, this is Nicole here, and I am recording on my NM Enterprise 7 YouTube channel. Welcome. Today we're going to tackle a topic once again that has brought many people to this channel dealing with a spiritual perspective on narcissism. Since my early recording of a spiritual perspective on narcissism, many people have commented. Some have been just most supportive. They have shared the audios about narcissism on this channel, and God bless you some more. At the time when I first recorded about narcissism, I didn't know anything about it. God had downloaded the word in my spirit. He moved on me to look up what narcissism was, as well as narcissists. And I will tell you that at the time when I was struggling with trying to figure out what was happening in my connection, I didn't have a clue. I was just bombarded with just a lot of negativity, anger. There was just all sorts of just power and control types of things. And I needed to get some understanding. And so I went to the one true God. And he's been with me ever since when it comes to this topic, dealing with narcissism, as well as many others. Today, I want to take you to the scriptures. In addition to, I want to bring to light a different kind of narcissist. There are those individuals, they're very much astute when it comes to the extrovert narcissist, but they don't know about that covert or introvert narcissist. Right away, some individuals will say, what do you mean introvert? No, I know a narcissist to be this, that, and the other. Well, get ready to get your mind blown again, because we do have those covert introvert narcissists, and I'm going to give you some insight today. Let's start off with the scriptures. First and foremost, Philippians 2, 3, and 4 is on your screen. Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit. Rather, in humility, value others above yourselves. Okay, stop right there. Those who are self-absorbed, self-centered, egoists, people who have been accused of being selfish repeatedly over and over again, do not value others. Okay, they don't. They pretend. Now, they will even go to the church, do some service. They will sit down and have a one-on-one with you and appear as if they are very much in tune to you, but they are only gleaning information that's going to benefit them later on to either use against you or to get what they want, or to find out that you're not what I figured. You're not my cup of tea. And so they discard you. And I talk about those who have been used and discarded on this channel, in addition to the other audios that deal with narcissism in the family, in the relationship, everywhere. Okay? So they do not value others. Okay? They pretend. As I've said in other audio, you cannot attract a bee by swinging at it. That bee's going to turn around and sting you. But instead, you can attract a bee with honey. And they know this. That is why they're going to learn as much as they possibly can, even about their personality trait, so that they can be able to be better at their act, be more manipulative, and win the hearts of others, but in such a way where, once again, what's in it for me? That is the narcissist mantra. What's in it for me? So, reading on, they're not looking to your own interests. Okay, this is Bible now. But each of you to the interests of the others. That's what sounds good, right? We're supposed to be humble, right? We're supposed to value others above ourselves. We're not supposed to be looking out for our own interests, but each of you to the interests of the others. And then, of course, quite naturally, we get benefit. If I'm looking out for you, then in time, you will come to me. You'll say, well, you know what? Since you looked out for me, I'm going to hook you up. I'm going to help you out. That's how it goes. Not, okay, straight from the gate. what is she going to do for me? What is she going to give me? How am I going to benefit from this? Does she have her own job? Does she have her own house, car? I mean, we got folks that did this way back when. That's what they were looking for. And when they looked for it and they saw it, hey, I got myself a win. But when things changed and the house was no more and the car was no more and the money's, where are they now? Or they're giving you a hard time. They're still around, but you're not benefiting me like you once did. You see? James chapter 3, 14 and 16. But if you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition in your hearts, do not boast about it or deny the truth. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, demonic. So to everybody who is saying things like, oh no, narcissism is, you shouldn't talk about that personality disorder as being demonic. And I love how we got these individuals that they just always want to push the demonic aside. There's never any type of demon that's tormenting people. There's never anything evil about someone that's going through some type of disorder. It's just life. It's just how it is. I'm sorry, but if I got something that is bothering me, I don't want somebody coming to me telling me that's just how life is. Can you get it out? Can you give me some medicine? I need a remedy. Can you give me some tools? You see, we got too many people like this. James 3, once again, 14 and 16. If you harbor bitter envy and selfish ambition, that is what the narcissist does. You got the narcissistic family members, the people who you work with, some of the folks that we've come across, you know, just in passing, and you picked up on something in their conversation. Oh, she sounds like she's jealous of me. I mean, but am I just hearing things? Or, oh, he's after, I mean, what is he after? Oh, he wants the land that I own, or he wants to be a part of the leadership. You know, he wants to establish his own business, but he wants to do it on my money. You see, selfish ambition, they got a plan, they got a plan, they got a plan. That's why they will look in the, do the research and look in the background and see what all you got. Okay, I can see where this person is going to help me. But what are you going to do for me though? You see, and usually what they do for you is nothing compared to what you have done for them. Okay? Do not boast about it or deny the truth. But once again, we got people who ignore wisdom, ignore Bible. Such wisdom does not come down from heaven, but is earthly, unspiritual, and demonic. Well, anytime you hear some of these teachers, mentors, what have you, always talking about yourself, what you need to do, setting up your plan. And it's always about putting you first. And saying some things to kind of make you jealous of what other people got. You don't need to be under a teacher like that. See, so-and-so, he got this, that, and the other. And you, what you got? What you got? You see, I mean, you got to be able to come up out of that thing so that you can be able to get as much, maybe even more. And meanwhile, you looking at so-and-so and you saying, I wish that was me. I mean, he got the nice house. He got the nice woman. He got the nice family. He got everything. Yeah, and so when you get your mind wrapped up into that, because Lord knows, especially when I was going to college, they had our minds blown like that. And then when I joined various MLMs back in the day, they had us blown like it's about you. But of course, you put on the air, the front, that looks like it's about everybody else. You see? Oh, Lord Jesus. Whew. I'm telling you, somebody, you may not have listened to any of the narcissism audios and videos on this channel, but this right here is an introductory for you to get in on what we know. 2 Timothy 3, 1 and 5, but mark this, there will be terrible times in the last days, and everybody says this in the church and elsewhere who are Christian, who believe this is all of what we're in right now. Listen to this. People will be lovers of themselves, right? I've said this over and over again in so many different audios. Lovers of money, boastful, proud, abusive, disobedient to their parents, ungrateful, unholy, without love, unforgiving, slanderous, without self-control, brutal. Oh, come on. A lot of brutal narcissists among us, whether they do it overtly or covertly. Once again, we're going to get into this covert narcissist. They're not lovers of the good, treacherous, rash, conceited, lovers of pleasure rather than lovers of God, having a form of godliness. That's how they draw many people in. See, they have this form of godliness, but denying its power. Okay? They have nothing to do. We're not supposed to have nothing to do with such people. So all this business of, well, can we just marry? No. Can we still remain good friends? Huh? You haven't had a falling out yet with this person? No, not yet. Well, you will sooner or later. Oh, don't wish that on me because we've been getting along well. No, it's not about wishing. The fact of the matter is that when you are around individuals like this, you're not going to keep getting along with them, because if you're following after the righteous God, you're going to change. And a person who wants to continue to love money, continue to be boastful, continue to be unholy, they want to continue, to be brutal and conceited and all of this, you are going to end up being a problem for them. Okay? They're not going to like you because you're not what you used to be. And you know that you're not like what you used to be when you start frowning on these very things that these narcissists are doing. Oh no, I'm not down with this. But when you first met them, you were down with it. That's what was the commonality, you see. Oh, he was unforgiving about different people in the family and elsewhere. You were unforgiving. He was, having issues with this one and that one and believed in vengeance. You were like that too. He was the type of person that was sitting up there bragging, and you stepped out with your fine clothes and everything, and you were bragging too. See, like minds tend to attract like minds. But then when God got a hold of you, when you got sick and tired of the foolishness that was going on with him, or it could have been her, you started changing. And when you changed, the relationship has never been the same. The friendship has never been the same. The workplace environment has never been the same. Come on. Somebody, you saw the truth for what it was. And they have the nerve to walk around as proud as a peacock, acting as if they're so godly, holy, and righteous, and you know what they do in their spare time. Come on. Proverbs 18:1, an unfriendly person, right? A lot of these narcissists are unfriendly. You can see it in their eyes. You can see it when you sit down and you're all bubbly or happy or joyous or whatever, and they're just like, oh, hi. Well, what's wrong? You see? An unfriendly person pursues selfish ends, and against all sound judgment starts quarrels. Okay? We were going to have a nice time until we were going to do this, that, and the other, but he was in a bad mood, or because I wasn't doing what he wanted, and then you fill in the blank. Psalm 119:36 says, turn my heart, this is somebody's prayer, turn my heart towards your statutes, right? Because you've been around too many narcissists, and you're not paying attention to God's holy word. Turn my heart towards your statutes and not towards selfish gain. And it's very easy to get caught up in saying goodbye to the Lord. And I don't want to have anything to do with what he represents when you're on that selfish bus all by yourself. Or you got a crew with you, and we about this money, about the selfish gain, about getting the land, about achieving the status, you see. Lord Jesus. So we're going to get into the 7 signs of a covert introvert narcissist. It's on Psychology Today. Preston Nee, who has an MSBA, wrote this article. 7 signs you're in a relationship with an introvert narcissist. I brought this up because individuals came through talking about, oh, at the end of your message on the spiritual perspective of narcissism, you said something about the introvert narcissist, and there's no such thing. And well, excuse me, here it is right here. Okay, there is very much such thing. Remember, at the time when God gave me that answer to prayer. Okay. I didn't know anything really about it until I started studying. I went to the one true God. So for a man or for a woman to have a disagreement about something that has been proven over and over again to be a message that was nothing but the one true God, there's something wrong. Something very wrong going on. So I don't entertain comments where people are wanting to say what isn't, when they could research just like I did, or pray just like I did, or get around some individuals and observe just like I did, and then you won't be that one that's having the rebuttal or the argument, because yes, that's right, there is some fact, there is some truth, there is what the Lord put upon her heart, or whatever you come away with these narcissist messages. But God definitely inspired me. Like I said, I did not know, didn't have a clue back in the day about narcissism. Okay? Thank you, Jesus. All right. Narcissism is often associated with its many external manifestations, including attention seeking, right? Grandstanding, superficial charm, lack of reliability, boundary violation, manipulation, and so many other traits. And all of these things had occurred early on in talking with narcissists, visiting narcissists, dating narcissists, all of that, okay? So there was the attention seeking. Oh, when are you going to call me? When are you going to see about me? Making up stuff just so somebody can come over. Things like that. Um, just going in front of individuals during family holiday events and look at what I got, and showing off, and people telling other people, why don't you calm down, sit down, it's not, no, I'm gonna tell you about, oh my goodness, right? And then of course pretending to be very charming and sweet and nice, and it's all superficial, and not being able to rely on them even though they say, oh, you can rely on me. And then of course establishing your boundaries. It's not a good time to call me right now, or just asking me before you come over. You don't just show up, right? You don't just open up the door and walk in the room. You see, I done had my share of experiences. And then of course the manipulation. What you see isn't really what you see. What you heard isn't really what you heard. I don't know what you're talking about. So all of this is what I've been exposed to. And all of this is what God had to work on me about, because when you've been influenced by narcissists, you will have some of their traits. Doesn't make you a narcissist, but you do carry certain mannerisms, and so God works with you. Okay, we're all works in process. However, not all narcissists are openly grandiose and outwardly intrusive. Okay, so wrap your head around that. Some of you all who say, oh no, narcissists can't be introverted. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Not all, but there are those. And we're not talking about just a naturally introverted person who's going through their share of issues. We're not talking about that type of person. And even the article says it's important to point out that many introverts are not narcissistic. We're not talking about that group over there, okay? Sometimes you got to repeat yourself, because people will just skip over things and then they'll go ahead and say whatever is on the top of their mind. Look, there are those narcissists who don't have that type of demeanor that is grandiose, okay? Or outwardly intrusive. Various researchers and authors have written about the introverted narcissists, and you all can look that up. Variously identified as the covert narcissist, the hypersensitive narcissist, the closet narcissist, and the vulnerable narcissist. See, there's all of these types of narcissists, not just one name fits all. And all of these that I just mentioned are your covert narcissists. This subtype of narcissism is more hidden, and yet can carry the same self-conceit and negative contagion as their extroverted counterpart. Okay? It's important to point out that many introverts are not narcissistic, as we mentioned. The ones who are, however, may have a way of influencing others around them to feel off balance and or insecure. So the narcissist will say things like, oh, you're so insecure. Or, oh, you have low self-esteem. Well, after I've gone through the fire with you, what did you expect? Right? Oh, you don't seem like you're that stable. You're a little bit flighty. Yeah, because I've been around you, dealing with you and all of your weirdness. And the narcissist, oh no, you're not going to hold me accountable. But yes, we are. We are doing that today in Jesus' mighty name. What both extrovert and introvert narcissists have in common is their employment of an outer veneer of superiority. This is why many of them go after leadership roles. Some of you all reached out to me and said, well, there's plenty of narcissists up in the church. I mean, look at all the ministers. Yes, yes. And there's been a lot of people who have studied under those narcissist ministers from way back when, more so. Now, today, we got quite a bit of people who do some things that are narcissistic, yes, but then we got some others, though, that have some other personality disorders, and it's very easy to confuse narcissists with other personality disorders. So that's a study that some folks have to go deep with, okay? Because I've had people come through and call a narcissist something else. Or a psychopath, a narcissist, or it could be a combination of both, narcissism and psychopath, or calling a person who's antisocial, some other personality disorder. So, I mean, the one thing about the internet is people will read a line or go on one website and then they'll run away with all sorts of things, and that's not how we do. Notice many of us, we've been on this for years, not just, 5 minutes, 10 minutes here and there. We've been on this for years. We've had to go through the abuse and the issues and the challenges and the upset with these people. Okay? This isn't, let me just study this to get some views. People are doing that though. And you could tell just by the quality of what's coming out of their mouth and what they're posting up on their page. It might look pretty, but it's nothing substantial. It's nothing that we can connect with. It's generalizations. I mean, really? Come on. Can't even tell a real personal experience. So that sort of thing frustrates some of us. But anyway, right, back to this article. So what both the extrovert and introvert narcissists have in common is their employment of an outer veneer of superiority to disguise their inner sense of vulnerability. So go after the leadership position, go after something that makes you feel important. The narcissist does just that. But meanwhile, there's so much vulnerability on the inside and they're afraid of it. They don't like to feel vulnerable. They don't like to feel sensitive. They're worried about that sort of thing. What's wrong with me? Oh, they might even ask that every now and again. And then they'll quickly shut that voice up. Oh, there's nothing wrong with me. I'm good. While the extroverted narcissist will say in so many ways that I'm better than you, the introverted narcissist will strongly hint at it. So you got that bold one, and I was in the presence of, I wish some people had this opportunity to be in the presence of a bold narcissist and a not so bold narcissist. So you got the covert narcissist, and then you got the overt narcissist, and they're looking at each other and talking to each other. It was fascinating to look at. Okay, I didn't particularly care for neither one of them. In a, let's just say, in a way where I would have ever picked them as friends. You know what I mean? I'll work with you, I'll deal with you to a certain extent because we have no choice in the matter, but to pick them as friends, knowing what you know, So here there was the extrovert and the introvert, and they're having a conversation, and the extrovert is bold and sassy and brash and attitude, right? And got the neck going. And then the introvert narcissist is exerting authority in a way where the conversation is like, I know, and my experience has been. And then the extrovert is like, well, let me tell you because blah, blah, blah. And now the extrovert is standing up and walking towards the introvert. And the introvert is still remaining seated, but trying very hard to keep composure so that I look like the responsible one, as if I never started anything in this discussion. It was something else. But anyway, so these 7 signs include what? Quiet and smugness, superiority. They got that little, okay, got that little turned up look going on. All right. Many extrovert narcissists are fairly easy to spot with their grandiose mannerisms and attention seeking. They're just all over the place. Machinations. Introvert narcissists, on the other hand, can be more, or machinations. Lord help me today. Introvert narcissists, on the other hand, can be more difficult to pinpoint, at least at the onset. They tend to observe judgmentally rather than act, and listen half-heartedly. Okay, so are you listening? Yeah, I'm listening. Okay. And what are you talking about? I mean, I'm not the one with the issue. Okay. Yet their quieter brand of superiority complex betrays itself through aloof detachment and disconcerting nonverbal cues. They may not express their negativity outright, but you get the distinct sense that they are barely tolerant with their lack of eye contact. Can't look you in the face, everywhere but in your face. Okay? Oh, condescending glare. Okay? Eye rolling, dismissive gestures, groans and sighs. Okay? This is the covert narcissist. High distractibility. Oh, yeah. Anyway, yes, what? Oh, no, huh? Okay. Quick boredom. Impolite yawns. And overall inattentiveness. When are you going to finish? Because you're getting on my nerves. You're taking too long with this audio video. Can't you make your audio videos a little shorter? When they do speak, their comments tend to be critical and judgmental, focusing on their own conceited views. Well, this is what I think, right? Okay, so you got that one. Self-absorption. Okay, withdrawn self-centeredness, right? That's what the introvert has. That is, woo, dead on. While many introverts are more quiet but good listeners, introvert narcissists tend to be reticent and poor listeners, as we've already established. They think that everything's so boring and so stupid and, right? But once again, they'll give you the benefit of the doubt if they can get something from you, though. And some of you all, you want to be in the narcissist good graces. So what you do is you keep giving, you keep feeding them, you're supply for them. That's why they keep you around. As long as you keep giving, I'm gonna keep you around. But when you stop, bye-bye. That's how it that's how it goes. And so you got to learn how to go bye-bye to them too. Before it gets to that point where you lose your mind. Lack of empathy. Okay? Notice this quote. You're sick, but what about driving me to the mall? Huh? What? I just told you I'm sick. I'm not feeling so well. I know, but can you just do this one thing? Really? Passive aggressiveness. I've gotten into this in detail on my page. Okay? Some introverted narcissists deal with disagreeable people or circumstances in passive aggressive ways. Upon receiving a reasonable request from you, they might say, okay, yes, as you wish, of course, sure, When you inquire why they didn't follow through on an arrangement, they may shrug it off. Well, I had this to do, I had that to do. Well, so, I wasn't there. What's the big deal? But the big deal is that you told me that you were going to be there. There you go, see? Highly sensitive. Psychiatrist Glenn Gabbard notes that some introverted narcissists are exquisitely sensitive. They tend to be affronted by any signs of real or perceived slights. And a lot of times it's perceived. I'm going to pay her back. For what? She said this, she did this. I know what she was thinking. How did you, How do you figure you know what she was thinking? Because every time when, you see, they have this thing where they just assume things that's not for real. They handle criticism poorly. So it's okay for them to criticize you. But when you have a feedback for them, it's okay for them to like, comment on all those little Facebook messages and, all those other places. But when you come with something, okay, and maybe it's not as flattering. I can't stand them. See, that's why I don't like this social media. In the face of negative feedback, some introvert narcissists will defend with an increased sense of superior smugness and dismal fight. dismissal, I'm sorry, dismissal fight, while others will respond with sullen withdrawal, right? And the covert narcissist is good for that. I'm just going to just slowly but surely get out of this atmosphere, get off of this page, move out of this, because these people get on my nerves. They anger me. They never like anything that I do. Typically, they will not let on how much the negative experience bothers them, and instead use their well-rehearsed aloofness to continue their schema. There you go. The misunderstood special person, right? I'm so special. I'm one of a kind. I'm ahead of my time, right? They used to tell me how good they were. How just I'm a good man. I'm a good woman. I'm just good. Everybody's just so good, right? Then when I busted out with none's good but the Father, they go. By constructing the superficial belief that one is exceptional, right? The introvert narcissist creates a reassuring role, submerging the fearful and vulnerable true self. That's what all those big statements are about. When you're dating someone and they're doing all of this, run, okay? Run. Oh, I'm a good man. Do you have to say that you're a good man? I mean, is it necessary to say that? That's because he's covering up the fact that he was just being a bad man to another woman. Impersonal and difficult relationships, yes, they do have them. Some introvert narcissists narrowly focus on self-absorbing work, technology, social networking. See, mentioned it. Small cliques, books, games, fantasies, and/or other endeavors to minimize wider human interactions. These activities may also help them enact their covert self-important persona. So, no, I'm not about going out. I'm not about being around a bunch of people, unless, of course, I'm benefiting from them, right? But I'm going to stay off in my little box over here, and that's what they do, because they know that they got this long track record of not being able to genuinely connect with people. Yes, this is one of those articles that I had to bring to your attention, because once again, I got these individuals who were sitting up here saying things like, oh no, there's no covert introvert narcissist. What are you talking about? Because I mean, it was a good message until you mentioned something about introvert narcissists, and that's no such thing. Do further study. Yes, there is such thing. Okay. What does the Bible say? The Bible says a whole lot about narcissism, even though the word narcissism isn't in there. But if we take a look at the scriptures, Romans 5:12 says, therefore, just as sin came into the world through one man, and death through sin, and so death spread to all men because all sin. A narcissist doesn't want to hear that. That's why he or she will avoid the church like a plague, because at some point, minister's going to say all sinned. Okay? All sinned. It's not going to be the feel-good message of everybody is good and right and great and wonderful and whatever. If there ever was such a message, it shouldn't be. Not in God's church. If anything, we should always feel some degree of conviction when we attend a church, because we know that we do some things and we say some things at times that's not right. And even if you're not in a physical church, there's the online church, right? Where they're sitting among believers and talking and worshiping and reading the Bible, you know, or being a teacher to your children about this sort of thing, so that they don't end up carrying on these traits. And a lot of parents dropped the ball a long time ago when they saw their sons and their daughters was acting very conceited. See, back in those days, it was conceited. Oh, she's so vain. She's so conceited. Get out the mirror. You in a mirror too much. That type of, as soon as they saw that, that's when, okay, it's time to check not just her being in that mirror all the time or him being in that mirror all the time, but that personality. What's going on? Why is she in the bathroom for so long, Lord? Why is she putting so much makeup on her face? Why is he in there grooming himself for so long? See? Why is she spending so much time on her phone, her tablet, and always in the electronics, but she's never around any people, though? Huh? What's going on? You see? Things happen early on that are the red alert, red flag signs for parents to speak to their kids, for husbands and wives to have that dialogue, right? For co-workers and managers. So we got another scripture here, Galatians 5:19 and 21. Now the works of the flesh, right? once again, are evident: sexual immorality, impurity, sensuality, idolatry, sorcery, enmity, strife, jealousy, fits of anger, rivalries, dissensions, divisions, envy, drunkenness, orgies, and things like these. I warn you, right? All of these things right here are character traits. Somewhere along the line, whether the narcissist is acting this way in his or her older age or once was, the point is that these are not good character traits to have, okay? And so when you got this sort of thing going on, you're not going to have a quality relationship with people. You're just not. And so, God warns us about this. Part of our sin nature is a total focus on self. This focus, also called egocentrism, okay, is how babies see and experience the world. Narcissism is like egocentrism in that the adult still relates to the world like an infant. Wow. That's deep right there, you see. A perspective that impedes personal growth and relationships. And what I remember about quite a few of these narcissists, which at the time I didn't know that's what they were, is that they acted so immature. And even other people say, oh, they're so mature, they're so petty. What's wrong with them? It's that ego. The ego's in the way. That's what's wrong with them. And they don't want to hear you telling them anything negative about themselves. Pride, right? Pride comes before a fall. Pride goes before destruction, and a haughty spirit before a fall. Proverbs 16:18. Philippians 2:4 says, let each of you look not only to his own interests, but what? Once again, but also to the interests of others. So you got more than enough information about this business of the covert narcissist. The covert narcissist is very much real, not made up. Thank you so much, Preston Nee, for sharing such an eye-opening article. In addition to thank the one true God for his scriptures that were here long before we got here. This isn't made up. This isn't new. God has definitely been doing a work in exposing the type of people that we have connected ourselves with, their influences, and how we might be able to get out of their traps. And I say might because some people are not willing to let some of these people go. Some people are not in a position right now to let anyone go. But when the time comes, though, and it will come, the letting go, whether they're above ground or below ground, has to take place if you want to be in the kingdom of God. Thank you as always. Blessings to you.